All right, welcome. Today, we're diving deep into a really fascinating prophecy from the book of Revelation, the Euphrates War. We're going to explore an interpretation from the Midnight Cry channel that sees this event not as some random future conflict, but as a very specific, precisely timed piece of a much, much larger divine puzzle. So let's see how it all fits together. So our source kicks things off with this powerful verse. And the key thing here isn't just about getting a blessing. It's a direct call to actually understand what's written, to take it to heart because the time is near. This really sets the stage for us to look at Revelation not as some unsolvable mystery, but as something we are absolutely meant to comprehend. Okay, let's get into this. The source material gives us a really powerful way to think about this. Instead of seeing the book of Revelation as a confusing, sealed-up puzzle, imagine it's more like a detailed architectural blueprint for the end times. But, just like with any complex blueprint, you really need a guide, a clear perspective to see how all the different parts are supposed to connect. So to even begin reading this blueprint, we have to understand the main structure of God's final judgments. According to this view, these events are not random at all. They are meticulously organized into three distinct, escalating phases known as the three woes. This right here gives us the whole framework. You can almost think of it as the high-level plan. Each woe is a major phase of judgment, and each one is triggered by a specific trumpet blast we read about in Revelation. So the fifth trumpet kicks off the first woe, the sixth trumpet triggers the second one, and that seventh trumpet, well, that unleashes the final woe. Now, the entire end times period is described as a 7-year tribulation, but the source makes a really critical distinction here, and this is absolutely central to the whole message. It divides this 7-year period into two very, very different halves. And this timeline is just so key because it kind of flips a common assumption on its head. The first 3.5 years aren't actually about judgment and chaos. No, according to this interpretation, this period is a critical grace period. It's a final window of opportunity for believers to truly get ready for what's coming next. So if that first half is all about preparation, then what's the cataclysmic event that marks the shift? What is it that flips the switch and kicks off the latter 3.5 years, the period of really intense judgment? Let's move on and see how this all builds. The answer, according to this interpretation, isn't some slow, gradual escalation. It's a specific prophesied conflict, the Euphrates War. This war is understood to be the exact same event as the Second Woe, and it's triggered by the sounding of that sixth trumpet. Now, let's be super clear. This isn't just another war that might break out in the Middle East. The source really stresses that this is a divinely scheduled event. It's an appointment on God's calendar set for a specific year, month, day, and even hour. It's triggered when 4 angels, who have been bound for ages at the Euphrates River, are finally let loose. And the scale of this conflict, it's just staggering. The prophecy names a specific number for the army that's unleashed, 200 million. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that. That is more than all the active military personnel on Earth today, combined several times over. It's a number that's meant to convey a truly overwhelming and unstoppable force. The result of this one war is a global catastrophe unlike anything the world has ever seen. The prophecy states that this single conflict is destined to kill 1/3 of all humanity that's left on the planet. So this leads to the most crucial point, right? Who actually has to face this unimaginable war? This is where all that preparation from the first 3.5 years comes into play. The source explains that just before this war begins, God himself enacts a great separation. This slide right here gets to the absolute heart of the entire message. You see, the judgments, including the Euphrates War, are not meant for everyone. They're specifically for those left behind. But the prepared church, on the other hand, is moved to a divinely prepared place of refuge, a shelter that's called Yebichol in the source text. This is a place of total protection, completely shielding them from the storm that's about to hit. So why does any of this matter for us, sitting here today? According to this interpretation, the purpose of the Euphrates War prophecy is not to make us scan the daily news in fear. Its real purpose is something much, much more personal. So let's just nail down the main takeaway here. According to the source, this isn't a prophecy to make us worry about some current conflict near the Euphrates. No, it's a future event with a very specific trigger and timing. Its whole purpose for us, right now, is to highlight the absolute urgency of spiritual preparation, so that when that time comes, we're counted among those sheltered in that place of refuge, not among those left to endure the judgment. And that leaves us with the final, and really the most essential question this whole interpretation brings up. If the focus isn't on predicting global wars, but on our own personal readiness, what does that preparation actually look like? This prophecy, when you see it this way, turns the camera away from the world stage and points it directly at the heart of each individual.